Yo, what's happening? What's good? How you doing? Happy Monday. It's your boy, Fell Smooth, back again.
That was an intentional pause. Yeah, what's up? It's Cravell. People call me Velly. Some people know me as CB Velly. Whatever it is, I'm him.
We back. Episode 6.
Episode 6?
Episode 6, man.
Yeah, last one was 5.
We breezing through them. Season 2. Wrapping up. Real quick, we shout out to everyone that's been tuning in, rocking with us. As always, man, we open books. If ever you want to holler at us, let us know. We always here to take ideas.
Yeah.
This episode's actually a little bit about something like that. We're going to get into, as the seasons continue, we're going to have some guests coming in pretty soon.
Some guests, man. Some people to talk about. I don't really like talking about that much.
Yeah, exactly. Only so much we can say and share. So we want to bring in some others with some thoughts and share some ideas with them and hear some of their ideas. So, yeah, if you know of anyone, let us know. Any people you think we like to bring on the show, holler at us.
Shout out to the Savings Club, man. The Scotian Savings Club.
Shout out to the Savings Club.
We a couple of weeks in, maybe like, it's about a month.
Yeah, man.
Right, it's about a month. You know what I mean? And we ain't the Savings Club like, in the States or like the food place or whatever, like Costco.
Sam Savings Club.
No, we
ain't that.
We stacking it up. We should call it the Scotian Stacker Club.
Scotia Stackers.
Yeah, man. Keep saving, keep stacking your bread. We in it, 1 month down.
For sure. Yeah. This episode is brought to you by the Spray Man.
Hey, the Spray Man.
Spray Man, man. You need your car washed. You need your house sprayed. The Spray Man got you covered.
Yeah.
All pressure washing goods.
Definitely, on the main street there, Highway 7, right? He's there, man. He's there, ready to wash your car off. And, as we fall into the winter, like it's getting cold now, but, when the salt and stuff on the road, he'll pop it up. Spray it off real quick.
Spray it
off.
You know what
I mean?
You got ATVs, you got dump trucks.
Yeah, dump trucks, all that shit.
He gets you sprayed and spray right.
Spray Man.
Shout out to the Spray Man. So today's episode, we want to switch it up a bit and kind of, like I said, hear from the streets. I always say that. We put something up on Instagram early on, just getting some questions for people about different stuff and things they wanted to talk about or let us shed some light on. So I got a couple questions here, a couple of different topics, and we just gonna see how many we get through, pick at them, and see what we got. See what we can give and share.
Yeah, I mean, before we even, you ain't got the answers, Sway.
No.
You know what I mean? We ain't got the answers, but, we can only share our answer. You know what I mean? We're just giving you some game from our perspective. I think there's a lot of perspectives that exist. But yeah, nonetheless, we're going to try to answer them. I guess the reason why I'm saying that is because ain't no guarantee that what anybody tell you going to be right.
No.
You know what I mean? So,
and really, we just opening the conversation.
Exactly.
Right? We just having a conversation.
I don't want nobody to go and take the shit.
Nah, don't do that.
And, like, oh, my God, they said, dude, I don't even know what the questions are. I just know how people can get. They'll ask you a question and they'll be like,
you told me to do this.
You told me, when I tell you to do that?
The only person you should listen to like that is Jesus. Other than Jesus, anyone else tell you something, take it with a grain of salt.
If you ask a different religion, they will tell you do not listen to Jesus. So, in everything, I think
everything's in the eyes of the beholder.
Exactly.
All perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, the first thing that I see here, someone, wants to talk about balance.
Or like balancing.
I don't think they're talking about balancing on the beam or gymnastic balance.
Because I ain't got good balance when I like walk and stuff. Like,
you need to work on that, man. Balance is key, and that's a good piece. Like, you need balance physically, right? If your body's not aligned symmetric, that's where a lot of back issues and hip issues come in. If you ain't balanced right, you know what I'm saying? You got posture.
So what's the question?
Either. But yeah, this balance, I think they're talking about, and specifically maybe directed to us. We got a lot going on, a lot of different businesses, a lot of different ideas.
What is the question?
The question says balance, nigga. What else you want me to tell you? Should say balance.
They just said.
Well, first we asked a question. You know, what kind of ideas, or topics,
right,
or anything that you have for us, shoot it our way. And the person responded balance. So they want to know about balance. You know what I'm saying? So and again, my take from it is, we people that got a lot going on. How important is it to balance? Business, family, health. What does that look like? Self,
wealth.
Exactly.
That might be a slogan: business, family, health, wealth. Self.
Ooh,
yeah,
for sure.
Gotta put that in a rap.
Write that one down.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, I think balance is important. You know what I mean? I spoke at a youth basketball camp, maybe March break, Halifax Prep.
Dope.
And, I wouldn't say I was unprepared, but I went into it kind of like last minute. I guess that's the word. And so I'm like, what do I tell these kids? You know what I mean? And I'm like, balance.
Yeah.
And, we talked about it with sports, basketball, and like the key of like having balance on the court, but then off the court. And, as I was talking, it turned out to be this really cool thing.
Yeah.
And the thing that made it cool was, in any walk of life, you need balance.
Yeah.
Too much of anything will have you too tilted to the left or to the right or whatever. Too little, same thing. So, I think it's real important to have balance to go far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a good piece. And I think, specifically speaking, if we're speaking about our lives and then the lives we live, balance is important. There's a lot of things. Like you said, life isn't just one thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you see people, you hear stories of people that just give their all to business and work. Matter of fact, the cool example I heard from an entrepreneur once, I think I shared it with you.
Yeah.
You got 3 balls in life. Pause. You got the glass ball, steel ball, and a rubber ball.
Yep.
The glass first. The rubber ball is work. You drop it.
That shit bounce
it can
back.
Bounce back. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really damaged. Bounces up.
Bounce back.
You got the steel ball. Family. You drop it. It hurts.
Hurts hard.
It hurt your toe.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt you.
But it don't really damage
it. Ain't gonna break
fully. Yeah.
Right? It ain't gonna break.
It'll damage the other shit around it. It might damage the floor, which like the kids and all that shit. But yeah.
You can bring it back to life.
Yeah. You can pick it up again.
You got the glass ball. Your health. Drink some water. You drop that ball.
That shit is broke, man.
There's no coming back.
You can't bring it back.
There's no coming back, man. You fuck around have a heart attack or something.
You get one heart unless you get a transplant. And even then, it ain't
gonna be the same.
Yeah,
Shout out to the transplants though.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? You damage your lungs. Anything like shit. It's no coming back from that.
It's a glass ball,
right?
Period. You drop your health, it's done. It's shattered.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So to say all that to say, you got to balance those things, right? We trying to build successful businesses. We got dreams, but we need balance. So that don't mean shit. I let my family go. Yeah. Don't mean I let my health go. It don't mean I let my interests go. Yeah. Right?
That's a bit, even like, because now we talking about balance. We talking about the rubber, the steel, and the glass ball. They all got different weights.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? True. And so when you think about like balancing, like the one that I think is the easiest to drop, the lightest one, that you would be like, I ain't got to put too much stuff over there. Like, but if you drop it, it's finito. Your health is real. You know what I mean? Family is probably the heavier, rubber or family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the family one, you're gonna like. It's the heaviest. You know what I'm saying? It's the heaviest, but it's like oftentimes, we try to like cheat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or get someone else to help.
Yeah.
But balance is crucial, man.
No, 100%. And how I see it lastly is like, I don't know how I see it, but balance is important. Yeah. Balance is important, man.
Yeah.
And in all areas of life, you talk about, that's what I was saying. I've always valued being balanced, right, from an athlete, right? I wanted to play all the sports and be good at all of them. I wanted to, be good at school. I want to be the cool guy. I want to get girls. I want to be balanced.
Yeah.
There is a line of
Too balanced.
too balanced, right? Because when you're too balanced, now you ain't moving.
You flat.
You steady. You too steady. So
Gee.
there's a line in balance. There's always a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's important to, you might need to go in some directions.
Yeah.
And put some focus in some place. You can't spread yourself too thin.
No.
Because you balance, but you spread over 10 different things.
Yeah, and I think that's a key part of it is like, Neville brought up the foundation of balance, family, work, and health. But then in all of those things too, there's balance in each of those things. You know what I mean? That you got to like in work specifically, like you don't want to work on just one project all the time. You want to make sure you're keeping a balance in that. With family, if you're only going on trips, that's your family. Like that's it. No, sometimes you just might need to kick it and chill out. You know what I mean? So you got to have a balance inside of the things that you balance.
Balance inside the balance.
Right? So, yeah, balance is big. So whoever wrote that, man, like,
shout out to
I ain't
you.
going to lie. At first, I was like, you talking about balance, right? Like, he just wrote balance. But that's big because, he gave us the opportunity.
I don't think it was a he. Why just assume he?
I don't know. I speak in God language, I guess. Right, like the Bible, they always use he. Like if we don't know, they use he. But I real shit. Like whoever that person was, yeah,
that was what's up. No, balance is
for
dope,
sure.
For sure. Next one we got. Teach me how to make money when I got no money. And they put a crying faces, but this is real.
That's it.
This is real, man.
Yeah.
Making money when you got no money is real. Cause man, I've been doing the side hustle Sundays, and a part of that is to, show you like shit. It don't got to be some grand elaborate scheme. Like,
no,
you could do something simple. But some of the shit do cost money. Like, okay, we bought jet skis. We needed 10 grand to do that.
12, bro.
You right, shit. We had to drive there. We had to rent a truck, a lot of shit. Tent. There is some that we started with lower. But anyway, oftentimes you need money to make money. But you can make money without money. So what's your thoughts there?
I mean, money first is an idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just an idea. It's an exchange, right? So really, you don't have to have money to have value, and you could trade that value for a currency. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's like really the first part of understanding that. But, there's so many ways where you can make money when you don't have.
To double down with you and to give you more perspective, value. We're exchanging. So when I'm buying something, I'm just giving you that value.
Yeah.
I can buy it with cash.
Yeah.
I could buy it with time.
Yeah.
Or I could buy it with some other form of value. It could be my skill set. It could be something at. So, a lot of people, just because you don't have financial cash at the time, don't limit yourself to what you think you can do. Like you could say to someone, hey, you got a tent? We'll use a tent, $2,000 tent. All right, I want to buy it from you. I don't got money, but I'll offer 30 hours of my time. Do you need something done?
Exactly.
Or shit. I'm good at this.
Yeah.
I'm good at editing.
Right.
I'll edit. You got videos you need to edit.
Right.
So, you can make that. Now you're started. You just bought this
100%.
thing, and now you off to the races.
You got something in the toolbox. You know what I mean? So to get to that first kind of, monetary capital thing, use what's in your toolbox. And then also too, like, wholesaling, right? Like I learned a lot about wholesaling in Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was one of the key concepts that I didn't really understand at the time, but when I really kind of unpacked that shit, it's like, all right, cool. But the whole idea of wholesaling anything is like Neville has something and Jonathan wants to buy it. Neville don't have access to Jonathan, or Jonathan don't have access to Neville. Some is wholesale. Neville, listen, if I get this sold for you at this price, would you sell it? Let's go into agreement. All right, cool. Then you go to this guy and sell it to him for like $5 more. Yeah. You didn't have to have no money to make that deal. So like, there's ways to be in a market without having the actual asset.
Or the money.
Yeah.
OPP.
Like other people's money.
People's property.
Right? Yeah.
You look at, it's big in Airbnb, real estate.
Airbnb, crazy.
Right? I got the knowledge. I know how to run Airbnb. Here is this family that has a summer house,
Mm-hmm.
a cottage. They only go up there 4 weekends in the summer.
Yeah.
Rest of the year is open.
Yeah.
No one's there. Okay, hey, Joe and Janet, I know how to run Airbnb. I'll do the management. I'll do everything you needed. You just open the door for me. Give me
Right.
the keys. You're gonna make this amount of money that you weren't making before,
Yeah.
and I do the rest.
People are
Right.
building businesses off of other people's shit.
Netflix,
Yeah.
you see all the time. Netflix owns no. Well, they're starting to make content now.
They started without movies.
They had no movies. Uber has no cars.
Airbnb got no
Airbnb
hosts.
has no hostess. Who else?
There's a bunch of them.
There's
Bro.
all kind of them.
The bank don't even got no money.
The bank got no money. They got your money, right? But them niggas started. They ain't had no money.
Copy the bank. The bank don't got no money,
For sure.
but they just lending it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They taking Neville money and lending it to Jonathan. Jonathan is doing real good off of Neville, man.
Mhm. But yeah, you know, being creative, other people's property, using your time and your value to trade value, and it was a third one. But you know, ultimately, it comes down to being creative, and also, you know, we think it takes a lot of money to start.
Yeah.
Man, if you got $200, I'm sure most people got $200. Shit, you can start.
Yeah.
We talked about Apple. We started in his garage. He had an old computer, Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
He didn't have an office. He just had a computer, and he got to work, right? So, you know, a lot of times we think we got to have this elaborate amount of money to start things, when you start where you're at. And
5 businesses you could start with $200.
Smooth Meal Prep, we started with $0.
Just 5 businesses. Give me 5 right now.
Oh.
Like right now, to the person that's listening, I'm gonna test you skills. Give me.
I didn't even hear your question. I was giving another example, but go ahead.
Give me 5 businesses you could start with $200.
$200. Kayak rentals.
Hey.
Sorry, not $200. No. Actually, kayak rentals, you could buy a used kayak for $200. Start renting that out.
I got one.
Camping gear. I just think rentals.
Buy and
What
sell
you got?
iPhones.
How you
right?
gonna do that?
You could just buy an iPhone for
Oh, yeah,
$200 on Kijiji and then put an ad up right after for $250. Like it's
For
crazy
sure.
what you could do. Like, you know, if you just got the patience, like you could do some shit.
200. What else? I'm gonna give you one more. For $200.
Lemonade stand.
Lemonade.
Yeah, you could start a mean lemonade stand with $200, man.
Lemonade. For
Might
sure.
sound taboo, but that 200 might turn into 2,000.
For sure. For sure. There's a lot you can do with 200.
Yeah, you could run an Instagram ad. You could run an ad,
Yep.
you know, without no product,
Yep.
and then kind of wholesale. Like again, you know what I mean? Like you could run a paid ad for something, get a bunch of
Get
sales,
the cash in and
get a
then
bunch
buy
of
it.
sales, and then buy it.
And that's what I was saying with Smooth Meal Prep. That's how we started. We started with $0.
Mm.
We said we're offering this product. We got customers that put their order in by Friday. We went and bought the groceries with the money that they gave us on Friday. On Saturday, cooked the food Sunday, and bootstrapped it from there.
Yeah, you could start with nothing for sure.
Power of
Good
zero.
question.
Good question for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another one we got. Someone asked about 75 hard, so I'll just chat about that real quick. Yeah, if you see me doing the 75 hard challenge and a couple phases after that, really just a challenge that kind of prepares your mind and body. It's a fitness challenge, but it's a lot more than that. So there's about 7 tasks. 1, no alcohol for 75 days. 2, you got to read 10 pages a day. 3, 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes. 1 has to be outside. 4, no cheat meals. 5, take a picture. You gotta take a picture of yourself. And I might be missing some. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, the challenge, it really helps you create habits. Helps you lose bad habits and drink a gallon of water a day, right, for 75 days. Yeah, I lost like 20 pounds doing it, but the big part of it was building those habits. You know, I was in a place where not working out as much as I wanted to and not eating as well, and that kind of, again, for 75 days, you know, helped create and cement those habits that existed long after that. But yeah, it's challenging and it's a real task, but we're definitely worth it in the end. So, shout out 75 Hard. Someone talked about goal setting and then creating processes to actually achieve that shit. Right? So, yeah, I mean, I think that's big. I think a lot of times we talk about goal setting a lot, and people set goals.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about writing it out. Okay, you wrote it out. You set a goal. You manifested it. But then what?
Right.
What was the plan or the process to make that real? Right. So I definitely think that's an
I think
piece.
it's like a map. You know what I mean? And I think it's not even just. I think a process is like telling you what speed to drive and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like kind of telling you what to do when this happens. So I think processes are so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one of the things we learned a lot about in our business is the lack of processes that we had and how limiting you are when you don't have them in place. You're just kind of going off of the feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why if you look at like the good sports organizations, I would like to see their process of how they do shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they got like, when you think about like the New Englands and the Pittsburgh Steelers and, these organizations that like, they just always find a way to win. Like they don't win every year, but like they find a way. I'm pretty sure that they have like a really cool process 100%. When it comes to drafting, when it comes to re-signing players, when
hiring
it comes
coaches,
to all that shit,
training camp,
like
getting the players the bond.
Exactly, right?
It's the organization wins.
Yeah,
and it's clear because year after year is different players, different people in the organization, but they still win.
Yeah,
right.
And so I think. Yeah, like it's one like every team in the NFL is their goal is to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's every team's goal.
Yeah, is
to win a Super Bowl. But then their process don't always line with what they're trying to do. And people, different teams are in different markets. Well, we've seen teams that are in small markets win Super Bowls.
Yeah,
we've seen teams in small markets win NBA titles in every sport. Like so. I think just really tapping into that process. Some teams might have a 10-year turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams, like the Lakers, we looking for championships at least once every 5 years, right? So I think just really figuring out that process is important for your life.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think, breaking the goals down and creating that map. So, one of the things we've done with Smooth Meal Prep and our companies is, okay, we'll set a beginning of the year strategy session. Mm-hmm. We want to make $500,000 this year. All right, well, what does that look like per quarter?
Yeah.
Right. So then we're breaking our year down into 90-day increments, and we meet every 90 days. And we got a meeting this week.
Yeah.
We meet every 90 days and set the plan and set the targets and the goals. And okay, what does this week look like? Then we're scheduling the calendar.
Yeah.
All right, this day, this day, this day. And again, it's one thing to have the goal. It's another thing to, break that goal down and create actionable items and processes and systems to lead you there.
Because a lot of it is just checkpoints. Exactly. People will write goals and then checkpoints.
Exactly.
But it's like, well, how are you going to do it? What's your strategy? Your process is your strategy. And I think, process is real. I think if anybody in business, in life, I don't really know like the life process, but I think we're getting closer to it. But in business, you definitely need processes to line up with your goals.
100%. Next, we got a question. This person, a lot, but one of the questions that we might be able to help today is step by step how to invest.
Ooh.
So, I'll give a step-by-step breakdown, quickly overview, and then some more kind of general advice. But the best way is to invest yourself, right? So not going through a mutual fund or someone else. They take fees, and you can do the same yourself. So in Canada, at least, you go to your bank, ask them to open a self-directed tax-free savings account. If you don't want to use a bank, you can use Questrade, Wealthsimple, all these places. You can manage your own account. Pretty simple to open up. From there, buy stocks you believe in.
Yeah.
Right. And even a second piece around buying stocks, you believe, and even easier, buy index funds, right? Buy ETFs. And we've talked about that before, I think. But yeah, index funds are simply, you can, rather than buy one stock, you can buy the market.
Yeah.
So you can buy the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies. ETFs, you can buy the top 20 tech companies. You can buy all the emerging companies in Brazil. You can buy oil companies.
Yeah.
I got an ETF that follows all the chip companies, people that make chips. So you could bet on those markets, and there's people that, do all the work for you. You just
even a step before that, I think, first is coming up with the formula. I think that's the first step. Like whatever the amount of money you make, deciding what amount of that money you're going to invest. Richest man in Babylon, right? Where, you take in 100% of your money and you say, all right, 10% I'm going to invest. You know what I mean? Like Navel's speaking to more of like the avenues and directions of places where you would actually, the tools you would use to go invest. And I'm speaking more to like, your actual money, deciding what's that religious, shout out to the Savings Club again, what's that religious amount that you're going to kind of put aside for your future self.
Yeah.
And not just saving it now, but then the next step of it is investing it and allowing those babies to have babies, or, treating your money like a slave and letting your slave have babies and slave them out.
And then slave those babies.
And slave those babies.
Money, legal slavery.
Legal slavery.
Let your money be slaves.
Yeah.
That's the only time slavery is good.
Slavery. The only slavery I want to hear about
is money
slaving.
Let them slaves work till they can't work no more. And then when they have kids, let them
work
slave
too.
So what that means is
and breed them.
Breed them. So boom, I got money. I invest my 10,000. Those are my slaves. My first 10,000 are my slaves.
Yeah.
I let them slaves go work and have babies.
2,000 a year.
They made more money.
Yeah.
Right. So now I put them slaves at work.
You're not letting them slaves off the plantation.
The kids got to work.
Yeah.
Go out there and get some cotton. Right? And now when they have babies, then, okay, some can work, and then you want to eat off of those. You want to eat those babies.
Yeah. Eat off of the babies.
Eat the grandchildren. Eat the slaves' grandchildren.
Yeah.
Right? The great-grandkids.
Yeah.
If you can get to the place where you eating the great-great-grandkids, that's perfect. That's when you on another level of slave master.
Yeah.
But
money is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. Servant, slave, all the same.
Let your money slave, man.
Cool.
And someone asked us a question that we just, what percentage of your net worth to invest?
My net worth? Frig. Your net worth? Your net worth, I mean, to me, like, it all should be in some form of vehicle of investment. Even your cash savings, like, you know what I mean? Or, like.
It's an equation that for different people, it's different. But one I would say, we want your cash. If your cash is not being invested, is losing money.
100%.
Inflation.
Yeah.
So you just leave your cash in the mattress. In 10 years, that 100,000 might be worth 80,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Buying power for sure.
Right? So, in that sense, we might want everything invested. Okay, there's different tools. Risky, not so risky, real estate. There's different tools and different vehicles. But, I think that question depends on, and then you say, then when you get into your money that's invested, then there's percentages. Some people say 5-10% crypto, 20%, 30% stocks.
Yeah.
40% or 30% bonds, just a percent.
So yeah, I mean, simplest answer, what percentage of your net worth should you invest? I'm gonna say all of it. That's your net worth. But if we're talking about your income, how much of your income should you invest? It depends on where you're at in your life, but on average, I would say you should be looking at like anywhere from 30 to 40% of your income going towards investment. If you want to like accelerator plan, you might want to flip it and go 70% of your income you're investing, and the rest you live off of. Like, I'm trying to live off of less.
Yeah.
Than That's me personally. Like I said, that's why,
Yeah, it's tough and it's different for everyone. And, I think people say, oh, man, how am I going to live off of that?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you'd be surprised.
How much money you spend
You
on
know,
bullshit.
how much money and how much money you could save. And it's all of us, right? But I think finding what your magic number and looking to squeeze that. Because the number you think you can do, you could do more. But again, that's your goals and where you want to get in life.
Yeah, so your net worth, I think all of your money and your net worth should be in some sort of form of investment, even if it's like, something that ain't going to lose money, like just something. Like,
for sure.
Right?
Another good question that came through, is it smart to go into business you see successful or one you're passionate about? So, two options. You see a business like crypto might be taking off. Like, okay, that's successful. I should go do that, but I'm not passionate about it. But you might be passionate about cooking. So do you go into the cooking business or do you go into the business because it's successful?
Personally, I believe, what you do for work and what you do for life, I think that, they should be separate. That's just me personally. A lot of people say, find where your passion is and you'll never work a day in your life. You know what I mean? I think sometimes money can screw those things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I want to I like to separate how I get money from the things that I'm passionate about. So, me personally, I'm looking where the success is at. You know what I mean? I'm trying to go into business where success exists, where there's opportunity for success, and I'm going to make lots of money. And then with that money, I'm going to go do the things that I'm passionate about. But that's just me, right? If you're somebody that, like, it just bothers you to get up and, like, make money, you know what I mean? Then, yeah, go where your passion is. Like, if you...
Yeah, I think, it's a good point to say that. Okay, we're passionate to make money.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of the passion and in the game we're playing. We're passionate about business.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people aren't passionate about that. Like, they're not spending their spare time starting more businesses and listening to business podcasts or whatever that is. So, I hear a lot, and I hear about a lot of different entrepreneurs. They might have started this business in this place. They didn't love it. So they didn't give it their all.
Yeah.
Because if you're not giving it all, it's probably not going to win.
Right.
Right? But then they find something that they're passionate about. I was just listening to a podcast with Bill, Kayak.
Okay.
The traveling company.
Right.
The guy, he just loved travel and loved, he loved travel. He was building something before it didn't work, but he built this, and he just was coming in, pouring time in every day. He was really passionate about what he was doing, and because of that, the business was successful and won. So I definitely think it's the eyes of the beholder thing, but definitely worth noting that, something you're passionate about, you're going to give more to, right? And to build a business, you're going to need to give.
Gotta give all you got.
You gotta give all you got, and then when it gets tough, you're gonna have to find something in. But if you just love what you build and you love what you're doing, that definitely makes it easy.
I mean, the thing about it is, you asked me, like, you asked us this the question, and I think that's the part where, like, when you asked me, I read somewhere, actually it was Rich Dad Poor Dad. He said, learn to do the things that you do not love with the same passion of things that you love.
Yeah.
And that should change my life, because I just, that's how I attack life. You know what I mean? And so if I'm passionate about socks, but they ain't making no money, but I hate hats and they making money, I'm gonna sell those hats
the same way
as if they were socks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna make a sock collection. Right? So, to each is its own.
For
but
sure.
That's how I'm gonna rock it.
Yeah. Nope. That makes sense. Online business ideas. Anything.
Yeah, the online world is so broad and wide.
E-commerce is here to stay. Everything that can be bought can be found online. Groceries, everything.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, the idea would be, go look at some industries that are still behind. Some people that are still slanging on the brick and mortar.
You said
right?
industries that are behind online. I don't know why, but my brain went to like crack and cocaine.
Man, listen, I think I just read a tweet recently that whoever first, like, if niggas could sell crack online,
yeah, they probably already doing it. It just ain't mainstream yet.
You watched what's it called? Startup.
Yeah.
What's that website? Whatever the website they were building on a startup with the Haitian.
Yeah.
Selling crack. Aracnet.
Yeah.
Aracnet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look at some industries that are behind it, man. It might be construction, right? How can you bring construction to e-commerce, right? Where, right now they still got salesmen that come out to your door and say, hey, you looking for, it's like, no, here's online, here's the quotes, here's the e-marketing, and boom.
There's a ton
of industries.
I mean, even when you look at like industries that are still doing good, I think there's still room.
Oh yeah.
For like people to enter in them, right? So I think businesses online, it's just you could kind of flip your switch. Like there's people that are like joining Amazon sales today, creating those Amazon, and then they're making money
still drop shipping.
Exactly.
People still selling courses. People still in whatever.
All of that shit is still working, right?
Email marketing, digital marketing,
finance,
everyone's doing that,
right? Like finance, DeFi, like all that shit. Like I think it's out there. Like specifically, I mean, I'm not really a big online shopper or nothing like that, or I don't really spend a lot of time online like that, so I don't really know what's new. But like Novell said, like if you could take the shit that ain't online and bring it online, yeah,
for sure. And yeah, I mean, it you see it happen all the day when they talk about disruption and shit, and people took peer-to-peer lending and put that online. Like, okay, my buddy needs $20.
Yeah,
we put it online, Venmo and all this shit. Or they took banking, right, and getting loans and put that online. You don't got to go to the bank. You just submit your papers and we approve you or not approve you based off of our algorithms and all that shit. So online's real. And we just talked about banking, which brings to a next segment, next question. Taking loans / investment from external sources. What does that look like? I mean, I would start to say, two sides to a coin, always. I'll talk about two pieces. I'll talk about one in the business side of things, and two in kind of the nonprofit world, because we see that a lot, grants and shit.
Yeah.
So make sure we come there. But one in business, investment speeds up your process, right? So you hear a lot of businesses. They talk about their raising, right? They raise $1 million, they raise $2 million or whatever. Those businesses, they can accelerate faster because they got $1 million poured into them. They can go higher. They can create elaborate marketing schemes. They have the capital to do what they need to do. Even on smaller businesses, us, we were in our kitchen at home. We got a loan to get our own kitchen space. It improved our capacity. It allowed us to do more shit. We were able to go further, faster. On the other side of that coin, a lot of times with those businesses that take on all this money, you kind of flood yourself. Right? So that's a good quote you hear all the time. Businesses don't die from starvation. They die from indigestion. Indigestion.
Yeah.
So they don't die because they're starving. They die because
they're
eating too much. It's too much on the plate. So when you get that large sum of money kind of poured in, a lot of shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
Secondly, in those scenarios with those big investments, you're often giving up something, equity, decisions, whatever. You same with like if you look at a rapper, right, independent versus label deal. All right, the label poured in $1 million into me. They give me $1 million check. I took that investment. They blew me up. I got all their resources.
But I ain't make no
It
money.
was great at first, but then when on the back end, when I'm 20 years in and they still own my masters,
Yeah.
shit, what if I just grinded that out, bootstrapped that, and made
And
it
it took
myself?
me 20 years.
Exactly.
I made more money. So, you know what I mean?
Then that's the equation.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think, that's the part. Like, a lot of these questions, there is no right answer. I think it's all situational. But yeah, it depends on the situation. Depends on you. Depends on your plan. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. It depends on your skills and your capabilities, your capacity. You know what I mean? Like if your capacity is at like a $10,000 cap business, you borrowing $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't gonna make sense. You're gonna shit the bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you want to make sure that like you're borrowing at your growth rate. You know what I mean? You don't want to over leverage yourself. You don't want to give up too much equity. And then even on a small time, like, if you're a small business, because like I've done a lot of micro loans personally into like small businesses, you know what I mean? Like where it's like I see somebody with a good idea. I think that, they're a high character person and they just need that couple bucks to kind of get them going. Like I've literally took money out of my own pocket and be like, here, boom. And it's always been like a loan. You know what I mean? Like it's been like a loan. But I find too, everyone that I've done that with, I always see the same pattern. I see them they start buying shit that's like 6 months later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll start doing shit with that money that's 6 months later, where it's like, no, stay in pocket and do what you got to do to get to that 6 months. You kind of take this money to give you that breathe easy shit and then get there. So, it all depends. But then there's been successes where like, frig, like they needed the money for a specific situation that was like right now, they banged it out and then they made that shit change their life. So like, it depends. It all depends on you. But I think if anything, the advice I could give somebody is, borrow at your capacity.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And secondly, have a plan, right? You don't just borrow and now we're just going to spend. It's we're borrowing this to do something, create more capacity, invest and go further, and that's pretty much we're just investing. It's an investment, right? So not just borrowing to borrow, because real quickly you can become over leveraged, and then when it's time to repay, shit hits the fan. But yeah, definitely being mindful of that, I think is super important. Another question we had is hiring your first employee and growing your team. What's your thoughts there? When do you think someone needs to hire their first employee?
So it depends on how you justify like the whole concept of employee. Because like in a business, when you're starting a business, there might be like 5 roles. Let's just use 5 roles as an example. So like your business may not be able to even start without one of those roles. So if you technically need that employee to start then you have to start your business. But if you're in a business where like there's duplication and it's somebody that's kind of following your lead, like now we're just building our capacity. Like here's my offering, I can do 10 in a day, but there's a market for me to do 50. You know what I mean? I don't think that you should look to hire an employee until you're booking 11 a day. You know what I mean? Like, or, you're booking 11 or you're booking 15 a day. You know what I'm saying? Where now it's like, all right, you and that person can split it. There's still a little bit of money to kind of go make. But like, if you're in a business where you need that other person to even begin, I think then you need to have the right plan and maybe look to fundraise the right amount of money to be able to give yourself that runway to go do that. So it all depends what's situational, but I think you'll know like when your problems become overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like not your inconveniences, because a lot of times people mix up inconvenience with like capacity problems. I think, and there's a big difference in business. Like, that's just inconvenient for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's inconvenient. Okay, cool. But, like, I got to wait till it becomes, like, a capacity issue. It's hindering me from reaching my maximum capacity, because you don't want to do something before your customers catch up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, I would agree. I think, with everything, again, there's no one answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way to look at it is, we come from the school of hiring early, right? That's how we did our business, but it was intentional and strategic, right? And our thoughts were, we're gonna hire early to have people to do the work, so then we go do other work,
right?
And to build the business and to bring more business in, right? So if you're looking at it from a perspective of that sort, where, okay, here's a business I'm building, I'm making pizzas. I'm gonna bring someone in immediately to make the pizzas rather than me make the pizzas, so I can go sell the pizzas,
right,
and market the pizzas and grow the business. So thinking of it from that point, where okay, but that has to have a plan, and you can do that early. But then it's okay. Now make sure you're going to do the shit that needed to be done.
A lot of people will hire somebody, because it's cool. Like, oh, I got an employee, but it's like, nah. Like, now you got to build, bro.
And that's the thing, because very quickly, indigestion, too much on you, right? You weren't able to consume that because you made that decision too fast, and you didn't have the plan of what actually was supposed to happen. So. Yeah, that shit around. It's not, employees is not cool. It's not a cool thing. It's not cool to have an office if you don't need an office.
No,
you do what you need, and if it makes sense, everything you do is an investment.
Yeah,
right. And you have to have a explanation and a plan for that investment.
Yeah,
right. And then secondly, around growing your team. I would say super important piece. No one's going to get nowhere by themselves. Or very hard to get somewhere by yourself. So building your team, again, strategically, right? Finding the pieces that you need, finding people that are good at the things you aren't good at. Right? Or
complementary players.
Can do the things that you don't want to do. Right? So when you're looking early on, and this is the part as well, where we're growing your team in smaller businesses, startup businesses. It doesn't have to always be an employee. It could be someone that is over there. If I'm good at engineering, they're good at sales. I'm building a site or building whatever. They're good at selling. Okay, what's up? Yo, here, 30%, 40% of the business, and let's build it forward. And a lot of people say, well, man, that's a lot to give up. Well, we talk about it all the time. You want 100% of 5,000 or 40% of or 60% of $1 million. Yeah. Right? So that
the math just makes sense.
The math makes
sense.
So
then it comes down to like, getting there faster and all that shit. But I'll add to the team is, when I was doing my own thing in business and shit like that, I could never really get them off the ground. You know what I mean? Like nothing could ever get past go. Like, yeah, they were operational and they were doing their thing, but they could never really get to that next level. And so, I was just fortunate enough that, you were my brother. You had the complementary skills to kind of come. And so when we started these things, it was just easy connecting and it just went. So I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? Like the next thing that I do, I'm a partner up quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. Like I'm a partner up quicker with somebody. I'm a create the team. I'm gonna be like, yo, what do I like? What am I good at? You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just go find those people. Here's the idea, and just bring them into this threshold. And for whatever they bring to the table, that's their value. That's what they're gonna get in return. And then we just go because I think you get there a hell of a lot faster with a strong team.
That's huge. And episode I was listening to recently, I think it might have been Dropbox that the guy was building. So it was a guy, the sales guy, the CEO. He was looking to hire a website designer, a builder, to build a website. They're very, very important to build a website. So engineer, they call him. So he was like, yeah, I'm looking to hire an engineer. I'm giving $100,000 worth of sales and 5%. He was talking to this other engineer that had been built companies before. He's like, nah, I'm not looking for a job. I'm already paid. He's like, oh, what will you take to join the business? The guy said, the only way I'm joining is 50%. Co-partner. He said, deal. Yeah. Right? So he went from wanting to just hire someone for $100,000 and 5% to partner up. And this is before the business. This is just the idea.
Yeah.
Boom. Now the business he has another partner that can. He's not getting there if it wasn't for him.
No, straight.
Right? So, those pieces are.
And you don't got to spend $100K.
Exactly. No, we still had to spend $100K.
Oh, he hit him with $100K and the 50%.
And it was it. But now I'm coming in as your co-founder.
Yeah, I'm going to give you all I got.
Right? Rather than I'm not just working for you.
I would have doubled back, but like, I'm going to give you $50K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a crazy deal.
Right.
I didn't understand. But, well, so he wasn't coming to hire him. He was coming to find him because he knew he was tapped in with all the dudes, all the engineers. So he was going to give him someone. He said, man, would you do it?
Yeah.
He said, well, this is the only way I'll do it.
Straight.
Well, shit, here. Let's go. Right?
Expertise.
Find the experts. We'll get to one more before we wrap. This one flew by. Shit. Keys to managing multiple streams of income, this person says. All right. And ultimately just kind of multiple streams of income.
You got to have discipline. You got to be disciplined. You got to be organized. And I think, I'm going to swing back.
Yeah, I mean, I would say first, the importance of multiple streams of income. Simple math. All your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
This thing goes down. What's next?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And really, you just want to bring in as many ways mailbox money. You want money coming in a lot of different streams, a lot of different avenues. There is a balance, again, with everything where, you spread too thin.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many different places. You're not giving enough energy to this one stream that could be, rather than it giving you 10,000, it's giving you 100,000 if you just gave it more energy and time.
And it depends on how those streams are flowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if those streams are flowing, with your time, then you don't want to have a bunch. But if like those streams of incomes are already built and just kind of on autopilot, then, you could have a lot of streams of income. But I also think too, you got to have discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to be organized. You got to know, like a lot of times with me, like lately I've been opening new bank accounts for every new form of business because it was getting real confusing when you're looking at all this different money coming in and out and you're not really knowing where it's going. So like I hadn't been, I guess, mindful that like, this business was actually losing money. You know what I mean? Like this one thing over here is losing money because it's all going into one pile.
Yeah.
And then when I started to separate them, then I started to see what needed my attention. So, when you have multiple streams of income, I think it's important that you have, a real organization going on so that you can kind of see what's happening with each one so that you're able to identify like the pitfalls like sooner. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's key. And I think, for us, we got a lot of different things happening.
Yeah.
Some things happening simultaneously. Two food businesses are in the same place. Similar, some of the same employees, a lot of crossovers, but and then we got other things where, rentals and things of that sort. So key piece, like you said, different bank accounts, organization, having those different systems and clarity and really trying to separate those as much as possible.
100%.
Right? So, even Smooth Meal Prep, R&B Kitchen, it's a lot of the same things happening, but it's different meetings, it's different conversations. When we got this hat, different bank accounts, it's different accountants, different managers, and, really keeping that separation as much as possible, especially when there's crossover, because, you want to see, like, okay, shit, this is losing, this is winning this much, here's how it's winning. You need the most information as possible to make decisions, right? And if it's all lumped up together, it's hard to challenging, right? Yeah. Even, when we look at some of the lower level shit, some of the side hustle shit right now, okay, it's not bank account stage yet, but it's notes, right? Here's this note, here's all the revenue here, here's all the revenue here, right? And then, sometimes I get fucked because it's all in the bank account. Right. So now I got my personal life. Yeah. Okay, boom, I spend this money. Oh, shit. Then I got to go double back but keeping that clarity to know that always, here's how much, here's how much, here's how much. And, really, really, like you said, organizing and keeping some form of system of separation amongst the two.
And maybe if that question was, flip it and reverse it, what if it means, how do I get multiple streams of income?
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'll say, again, discipline, but I think it's just finding things that are separated from each other, like finding, something, and then you put your money into that, and then, that's going. Okay, let me do something else that's kind of separate and different from that, and then let me get that going and invest into that. Let me take the slaves from this basket and start creating a new basket.
Straight. And I mean, when we look at we call it the B&B, the Brothers in Business, a lot of that is pretty much just trying to create as many passive incomes and streams as possible. Some of the high side hustle shit you see, it was that. We might have started with, I don't know, maybe we started a long time ago, but in a more new form, maybe jet skis. Okay, boom, made some money off that. Then we went and bought the car.
Yeah.
Okay, boom, make some money off that. We already had the tent. Okay, the tent. Okay, boom. Take those babies, we buy a vending machine.
Yeah.
Take those babies, and we just keep
buying shit.
Keep buying, keep building.
Yeah.
And eventually, we got $1 million worth of assets and
that are producing
10 to 20 different streams.
Yeah.
And right. So, but starting with one.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting with one.
You need to have one income
and
stream.
And the piece I wanted to mention is because you made a good piece of, you can do similar shit. So we seen rentals was a big industry. So we just started doing different rentals.
Yeah.
Tents. And just now we had a rental and they said, man, we should have chairs. Okay, shit, we can get some chairs. Yeah. You can rent chairs. Okay, boom. Now it's whatever else within that realm of space. But there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Opportunities are endless, man.
They sure are.
Them were some good questions.
Good questions, man. Good questions. Thanks for tapping in and sharing some of your shit that you had. But yeah, as always, much love. Another day, another
real
dollar.
Love.
Real love.
Shout out to Mary J. Blige.
Shout out to Mary J. Real love. But yeah, anytime you guys got some thoughts, share them with us. We love to chat and connect and chop it up. So that's what's up.
You already know, man. Peace out.
Peace out. Boom.